Hey folks, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we're going to be looking at the McLaren, the 570S, a photo shoot I did a couple weeks ago now. There's a couple things in this photo I wanted to show you that I did do because it's actually a photo that I almost abandoned. I almost passed it up because there was kind of a mistake in it that I didn't know if I could correct, but I'm going to show you what I did with that. But the location itself, I do like it. It's very, well, it used to be quite private. The sunset's really nice to get there at the right time. But in this location, they're actually doing more construction recently, and it looks like shooting here may come to an end because they're doing construction on the road, and as a result, there's a lot more equipment there, and there's people there quite often, and usually right up to sunset. So you can see in this photo there's some trucks way down in the background. Didn't really mind that, and I kind of did some blending to really kind of get rid of that, added some smoke and things like that. But now I just wanted to go through quickly some of the steps I'd taken with this photo to just show you exactly what I did to get to the final result. So what we'll do is we'll take off all the layers here. You can see here which layers I had included. And what we're looking at here in the background, on the background layer, this is the photo taken into Photoshop from Lightroom. In Lightroom, I had done some general adjustments, and the first things I had completed with that is I did some clarity on the car. I wanted to brighten up some portions with the wheels. The wheels were a little underexposed with the sun coming from the back, so I wanted to increase that. And that was pretty much it. I didn't really adjust any of the temperature with it or anything else. A little bit of sharpening, and I took it into Photoshop. So here in Photoshop, what we're looking at here, now you'll see some issues with this photo. It's quite crowded in the background. I wanted to clean that up. The ground is quite dirty. There's some rocks, especially on the left side. And that's where the road kind of continues down, so I can anticipate there being some debris there. And also with the mood, now the sunset is good, but it didn't really reflect kind of the mood I was looking for, and that's why I add some of the smoke. And the smoke is a little more intense than some of my other photos that I had done. So the first thing I wanted to do is clean up, and what I was talking about is I almost passed up this this photo because of the one mistake that I overlooked that fortunately we did catch. So for the rest of the photo shoot, we were able to not run into it. And it was the review mirrors. You'll see they're kind of cloned out here. When you do put this car, when you park this car, the mirrors do flip in for protection. And first a couple photos we didn't notice, but anyway, we got that out. Unfortunately with this is the only photo I had that I liked from this angle. And with the mirrors in, I was thinking, this is pretty much it. I'm not gonna be able to do anything with this photo. I didn't really like the mirrors being kind of curved in. But fortunately, I did have another photo from the photo shoot where the mirrors were pretty close to the angle I wanted, and I thought it could work. So what I did is I brought the photos, I brought just the mirrors in, I cut them out using the pen tool, and I brought them into this photo and just increased the size so it kind of matched. So looking at some things here, we'll look at the right mirror, and let's zoom in here. So looking at the right mirror, this is it with it off. So what I did is I kind of cleaned up a little portion here, so when I patched it over, it's not going to have any of the overfill and the spill here from the other background mirror. So we'll add that here, and we can see here the reflection, very good. I think it looked fantastic, so I was very happy with that. Same thing with the left. I just wanted to kind of clone out that portion because it was kind of bleeding out, and there's the left mirror there. So almost a perfect match. I was very happy with the way that turned out, and being able to do that, maybe kind of, I guess, salvage the photo. It was a good photo, but like I said, with the mirrors, it just wasn't working for me. Now, also with the cleanup, there's quite a bit I did with the cleanup. You're going to see there's some sort of bucket here. There's a porta potty. I definitely didn't want that in the photo. There's some equipment here, which is fine, and some other stuff that was easy to get rid of. So with the cleanup layer, we'll just kind of turn that on and off, looking at a couple things. So what I did is I got rid of this pylon, which was pretty easy, just cloning from this side over. With the sun reflection, I could run into problems getting rid of this, but with this piece of machinery here, with these, I didn't find it was much of a conflict. It kind of worked being in that kind of construction type of zone. But other easy kind of distractions I wanted to take out. We just got this little post back here. We have this sign for whatever business this is, and this fire hydrant. So I took those out, which is just easy to do. So again, looking at on and off, there's this pole and this wire here that kind of holds the pole up, and this bucket. A lot of these larger rocks, we'll see some scrapes on the ground here. I wasn't going to take out all of these cracks here. That was fine. I didn't really mind with that. But a lot of other things I wanted to take out just to clean up this photo a bit. So yes, it's still a construction zone, but some of it can look messy. We got this little stain here. We got these larger rocks and some things in the background here which are easy to take out. So I just simply clean those up on one layer. Now we're getting close to, like, the photo's looking good so far. It's looking pretty clean, but I wanted to separate the car a little more from this background here. Of course, there's a building here, and these posts, I wanted to take those out. So what I did is I added a smoke layer, and that's simply what I did is sample a color from right around here, create a new layer, and I use the smoke brush, which I have here. And on that layer, and I used the smoke brush to kind of paint over, and then I adjusted the opacity, but also what I did is I used a Gaussian blur quite high, with the Gaussian blur using it quite high, so it will just, of course, you won't see much of the actual shape of the smoke itself, but it will add the smoke effect. And I kept the opacity quite high here at 88%. I usually have it a little lower. But I did like how it really added that sunset, hazy, smoky feel while bringing out the car a little more to the attention of the viewer. Next thing I did, now the infinite color, this photo itself to me was just a bit too warm. Of course, it's going to be warm with the sunset, but it was a bit too much. So I did want to do a little color adjustment and add some color to the shadows, the photo overall. And I used the infinite color palette, which is right here. And I generated some settings here for this photo. Let me just close that out and we'll collapse that again. And on and off, you'll see it adds a little bit of cool, a little bit of blue to some of the shadows and to some of this foreground here as well. So again, on and off. Next thing was a color balance. Now, this color balance is very, very, just a very small adjustment. And I'll turn it on. You may not even see what I had done there, but we'll open this up and I'll see just in the shadows. I just increased the shadows, just the blue in the shadows, just by 1. This is quite, it's very particular in terms of its adjustments. Every little adjustment here, even by another one, is quite a bit. So just 1 is fine with that. And then the final thing was a curves. And then with the curves adjustment, what I can find here, and I didn't think this was the case, sometimes when you have a sunset, you can blow out your sky quite a bit. And if you do have that sitting on a white background, my website is not a white background, but if you do have it on a white background, it can just blend into everything else, and it just really doesn't look very good. So I usually add a curves adjustment. I just bring down the whites just a bit, so that's not pure white. So if you're looking at this whole photo on a white background, you can tell where the photo is and where the borders are compared to the rest of the photo itself. And that's it. That's the adjustments I did for the McLaren 570S for this photo. And I'll see you again in the next video.